Good evening, and welcome to the August 20, 2026 meeting of the Foxborough Board of Appeals. This meeting and the public hearings that we will be conducting is being broadcast and recorded by Foxborough Cable Access. Now, we have a few administrative matters to handle. First is, because this is the first meeting that we've had you, me, and Kurt together in the last couple of months, we have to reorganize.
Okay.
That we should have done in June. So, anybody want to be chairman?
You, Barney.
Anybody want to be vice chairman? Kurt?
Sure.
And clerk. So, motion to...
Motion to reorganize as described.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Okay. The minutes from the July 16, 2026 meeting. Any questions anybody has?
No?
Okay, motion to approve.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Okay. Couple of other things. First, of course, as I've mentioned to everybody, Blair Crane has resigned as of last Monday. So I just want to publicly express appreciation for his service and for getting to know him as well. As I mentioned when he emailed to me, when I emailed him back, it's like every time I look over to the left now, I'm not going to see Blair there, I'll just see Kurt.
Sorry.
I would see you anyhow. There are several people that I have in mind that I'd like to talk with, but I want to hold off for a while and see if anything transpires as far as people coming out of the woodwork. I did ask Katie Lang to publicize it on the town website. I don't know if that's been done yet, but we'll see if we get anything in that regard. But obviously, if anybody knows of anybody who might be interested, just pass the word on to me. Second, as I think I mentioned at the last meeting, although again Kurt and Lorraine weren't there, Scott and I, with Ron Bressi from the Planning Board, did a site walk of the East Belcher property. Was it early in July, Scott? I think it was early in July.
I do believe it was.
And I think the best that I can say is it doesn't look any better. In some respects, it looked worse. Now, I drove by last week, and it seemed to be a little bit of progress, but nothing substantial. We did not check vehicles. I suspect he's probably over the requisite number, but we didn't check that. We were talking about another site walk at the end of August. Probably won't get that done. What I'll do is contact Steve Chaplin to contact Mr. Cook's attorney and see if we can have a site walk in early September. The deadline for compliance with the planning board's site plan review approval is October 1. So we'll have to have a site walk sometime early in October. I won't be around the first week, so Kurt, we'll let you take care of that. Scott, are you also on vacation then, that first week in October?
Yes.
Would you want Gil too?
We can have Gil.
Okay.
Yes.
So I think when I contact Steve, I'll ask him to make arrangements for both of them.
I'm here the first full week
Of October?
of October.
Okay, so maybe,
So I might be available.
okay.
Okay.
You just email me and let me know when that is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll send an email to Steve tomorrow.
Okay, perfect.
And get the progress going. Okay, Attorney Kiefer. This is a requested modification on the comprehensive permit for 119 Moore Street.
Good evening, members of the board. Stephanie Kiefer from Smolik and Vaughan in North Andover. Several of you may remember I was the permitting attorney for this originally back in 2022, I guess. And with me this evening is Bruce Wheeler, who is the Rowan Greens, the current applicant and developer of the 119 Moore Street 40B development. So just to kind of like bring you up to speed from where we were. So the board had approved this, it was back in 22. There had been an appeal that was resolved with the neighbor, and there back then in 2024, we appeared before the board with a few minor modifications, relocating the post office boxes and a couple, granting the neighbor an easement and things of that nature, which the board approved as insubstantial changes. So, and then after that, Rowan Greens took over as the developer, and very excited to get this project moving. It's going to be 36 units, 25% affordable, obviously under 40B. And we're before the board this evening asking the board to make a determination of insubstantial change, and it relates to really just a timing issue. So currently, as the comprehensive permit decision is written, as a condition of issuance of building permits, the applicant is to have received final approval and recorded the regulatory agreement at the Registry of Deeds. And as you may recall, this project is a LIP project, a local initiative project. And we've already gone to the select board and they've approved the draft regulatory agreement, but it's a little weird, wonky thing within the regulatory agreement itself that the applicant identifies which are the affordable units, and then the agreement reflects that pursuant to a plan that's recorded at the Registry of Deeds. And this project, it's going to be a condominium project, and under the Condo Act, you don't record the unit deeds until you first have started building. So it's this conundrum: we can't build until we have final approval, and we can't have final approval until we have recorded plans. So kind of the solution that we're proposing and requesting the board to approve as an insubstantial change is just simply to modify the timing of when that regulatory agreement is recorded, as opposed to issuance of building permits prior to issuance of occupancy permits. And just to let you know, again, we're starting down that process with the state already. So we have presented to the select board, who have signed off on the form regulatory agreement and indicated their willingness to sign it once it's finalized. We likewise have worked with the affordable housing consultants and have submitted the affirmative fair housing and marketing plan to the state for its review. So we're pursuing it currently, but what we're asking the board to consider as an insubstantial change is just that timing. And it occurs within the decision in 3 places, and I've identified that within my letter. So the first one is condition B4, which currently states that prior to issuance of building permits, a regulatory agreement that's in the form approved by the subsidizing agency shall be executed and recorded with the Registry of Deeds. We're proposing that just be revised to say prior to issuance of occupancy permits. So that's the first place. The second place is 2 kind of parallel provisions within the C2 series of conditions. That's C2.2 and C2.3. So currently, condition C2 states, prior to issuance of a building permit, the applicant shall submit to the board and the land use director evidence of final approval from the subsidizing agency. And condition C2.3, similar language, states that prior to issuance of building permits, submit to the board and land use director certified copies of the regulatory agreement and monitoring services agreement for the project. Execution and recording of the regulatory agreement shall be complete prior to issuance. And what we've proposed here is the C2 series of conditions within the reg agreement are all prior to building permits. We're suggesting that be moved to C3, which is prior to occupancy permits, so have the exact same language with the exception that the leading clause is prior to issuance of occupancy permits as opposed to prior to issuance of building permits. So it's 3 distinct conditions, but it's kind of the same thing repeated 3 times. Other than that, there is no proposed change to the project. It's exactly as laid out. There's no design changes. There's no changes whatsoever. No density, no design, no landscaping changes. It's the project that's been approved. It's just we're asking the board's consideration as an insubstantial change, that timing matter.
Have you heard from Housing Livable Communities about the agreement, the regulatory agreement?
So I had reached out to them and previewed The regulatory agreement, as the board probably knows, it's a pretty standard template that they use, and they don't allow for much change in it. It's basically putting in the specifics of the project. I had reached out to ask whether they would modify the language, and then they haven't gotten back to me. I recently had this on another project where I had a kind of out-of-state developer that wanted to modify the regulatory agreement, and it has to go through legal review, and it takes quite a bit longer than normally. And so if we can get that modified, I mean, obviously the goal here is to get the reg agreement in place and recorded as soon as possible. But the goal also is, because this project was approved a while ago, to get it started. The project cannot be utilized unless we have that. So, the board has that, surety in place that that's going to happen. But this is just a kind of a chicken and egg, because this is a condo, and condo unit deeds are recorded once you have a building, and we don't have that until we have a building permit, so.
Yeah, so the way the agreement reads now, you literally could not be requesting a building permit.
Right.
And/or Scott could not be issuing a building permit, so. Questions?
No.
Scott, any questions?
No?
I mean, we've done, not necessarily like this, but we've done modifications in the past. If we make a determination that the modification is insubstantial, it's approved tonight, although we'll prepare an agreement, a decision relative to the matter. If we were to make a decision that the modification is substantial, then we have to hold a public hearing. From my perspective, this is insubstantial, and it furthers the project, which has been sort of languishing. I know you've done a lot of site work, but
Yeah.
until you really start with the buildings, it's not really.
We're loading the plans tomorrow in the portal.
So from my perspective, I would see this as insubstantial.
I agree.
I would agree it's insubstantial.
Okay, so I've got two motions, if you bear with me. The first motion is that the board hereby determines pursuant to 760 CMR 56.0511A and 760 CMR 56.0511B, and with reference to the factors set forth at 760 CMR 56.074, that the modifications requested for and on behalf of the developer are insubstantial. Two, the comprehensive permit that was granted by this board in case number 22-11 be and hereby is modified as follows. One, deleting the wording of condition B4 of the comprehensive permit decision in its entirety and replacing such wording with the following, quote, "A regulatory agreement that is in the form approved by the subsidizing agency shall be executed and recorded with the Registry of Deeds prior to the issuance of any certificate of occupancy, period," end quote. The reason I'm saying certificate of occupancy as opposed to occupancy certificates is we're using that term elsewhere in the the decision.
Fair enough, thank you.
Two, deleting condition C22 of the comprehensive permit decision in its entirety and inserting the following within section C3 of such a decision as condition C36, quote, "Submit to the board and the land use director evidence of final approval from the subsidizing agency as required by the project eligibility letter and the regulations, period," end quote. And three, deleting condition C23 of the comprehensive permit decision in its entirety and inserting the following within section C3 of such decision as condition C37, quote, "Submit to the board and the land use director certified copies of the regulatory agreement and monitoring services agreement for the project. Execution and recording of the agreement shall be complete prior to the issuance of any certificate of occupancy, period," end quote. Questions?
My only sole comment is execution and recording of the regulatory agreement. That's the document that gets recorded at the registry.
So I'll just add the word regulatory and firm agreement. So,
So, motion to approve changes as just described.
a motion to approve
that it's an unsubstantiated,
To approve the motions as read.
as read.
Okay.
Yes.
Second.
Okay. Again, it's just the three of us. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. I'll get you something probably next week, hopefully next week.
That would be great. Thank you
Okay.
so very much. We look
Good.
forward to
Thank you.
moving this forward.
It's
And you'll-
wonderful,
And you'll be
thank you.
filing for a building permit when? Monday?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. So it's being loaded tomorrow morning. So I was just waiting. So anyway, so we're gonna file everything except we're waiting for our HERS rating. We'll be back in a couple days, and then once we add that, it's a full package.
Okay.
That's the only thing we don't have today. Everything else
Okay.
is intact.
Perfect.
All right.
Have any questions, just call my staff tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay?
Everything moving in your direction smoothly? Or any questions?
Oh, no, my staff is awesome.
Okay. Are they happy with what's going on?
Oh, they can handle anything. Yes. Yes.
All right. Thank you very
Good,
much.
thank you.
Have a great evening.
We'll be happy to help.
Okay, appreciate it.
Barney, can you send me that motion tomorrow?
Yeah.
A lot of legalese.
I'm going to send you the whole
Okay.
package tomorrow. Okay, the time being 7:10 PM. Park and Merit seeks a special permit pursuant to the Code of the Town of Foxborough, Massachusetts, Chapter 275 zoning, Section 316, Table 3-1, Table of Uses, Use L5 to construct a detached residential garage exceeding 21 feet in height and a footprint in excess of 625 square feet. Subject property is located at 15 West Street in the R40 Residential and Agricultural District and is not in any restrictive overlay district.
I printed these two as requested,
Ah.
right? Larger plot plan.
You're going to have to be in front of a microphone.
If you want to take these, I can
Okay. Actually, once you get
They were
it,
requested in addition to the package.
you...
Sorry.
So let me just explain. There are four of us here. The only people who can vote are Kurt, Lorraine, and me. All of us will participate. Our decision has to be unanimous in order to approve your request.
Okay.
So with that, go ahead.
So I am requesting, I live at 15 West Street, my name is Parker Merritt, it's nice to sit here tonight. I'm requesting to exceed the zoning table 3.1 for a building that exceeds 21 feet in height and 625 square feet of garage for an ADU apartment building. The building on the plans ends up being 28 feet in height and 896 square feet for garage space, which matches the ADU size, which is just under the allowable size. So my request is
What are the length and width dimensions?
28 wide and 32 deep. So it's still a two-car size, but it only has a single door. The rest of the space is mostly for storage.
Okay. So you're planning to use the, well, first of all, we have no authority to consider an ADU. ADUs, as long as they meet the requisite requirements, are allowed by right. So
Which it does, yep.
all we can consider and approve is the structure as a garage.
Correct.
Then you'll have to apply to Mr. Shippey for numerous permits. Correct? So,
The documents are in the building department applied.
but you'll need to make a formal, permit, building permit request.
Yep. Yeah,
Okay.
it's in the process, yep.
Okay. But I just want to be clear that we're not considering an ADU.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep, it's the garage space.
Yes. So again, the first floor will be technically a garage.
Correct.
And that's the, what, garage motor vehicles, store personal property?
Yep.
Okay. Now, the motor vehicles are your own, or they,
Personal. Yes, sir.
as opposed to the person who would be using the ADU, or?
No, the ADU is allowed one parking space, so she'll be parking downstairs as well.
So one of your vehicles will be parked in,
One and one. It's a
Okay.
two bay.
Any questions from you guys?
Say two bays, but one garage door?
Correct.
Okay. Just want to make sure I heard that correctly.
Yes,
The driveway just goes past the house.
correct. Yep.
Very big garage door.
Floor plan,
Yeah.
bay,
Yeah.
person door, garage door.
Something different, yeah. Are there any questions?
No.
As it pertains to the height, so the height issue is caused by the roof pitch, which is to match the current home on the property, which is a 12 pitch. I believe that's what makes it so exceeding the height.
So you said it's 28 feet?
28 wide and 32 deep.
I'm
yes.
sorry, the height, though, is 28?
28, correct.
Okay, any other questions, anybody? Got any questions?
Presumably keeping within character of the existing house.
Yeah, yeah, it was never intended to be anything, over elaborate.
Okay.
All right, anybody wish to be heard? Want to close the public portion of the hearing?
Motion to close the public portion of this hearing.
Second?
Okay, all in favor? This is consistent with what we've done numerous times. We do have sort of a standard list of conditions,
Sure.
but this is no different than what we've done numerous times. You've got a
Right.
huge piece of property, it's almost 4 acres. So the garage is far from the road. It's not going to impact any neighbor or otherwise, so I have no problem with it.
Right.
You okay?
Yeah,
Eric?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, so what I'm going to suggest is the following conditions. Number one, the proposed garage is to be a detached structure with dimensions that shall not exceed 28 feet wide by 32 feet long and a footprint of 896 square feet, and shall not exceed 28 feet in height from grade to the highest point of the structure. Two, the construction and design of the proposed garage is to be in accordance with the plans that you've submitted, and they'll be attached as an exhibit to the agreement.
Correct.
Three, the proposed garage is to be situated on the subject property as set forth in the certified plot plan that you gave us. The type and color of its exterior materials shall be comparable to that of the property's existing dwelling.
That's what I was.
It's to match, yep.
Yep. Four, the proposed garage is to be used solely to garage motor vehicles and store personal property on its ground floor. I'll probably put in a footnote that would indicate that to the extent that you want to use the upper floor as an ADU, A, it has nothing to do with this decision, and B, you have to comply with the applicable provisions of
Sure.
the zoning bylaw.
Of course.
Five, the proposed garage shall not be used for any business or commercial activities. Six, electricity service within the proposed garage is to be restricted to single-phase electric service. Seven, spotlights other than those situated on the structure itself and pole lights on the property that lead to or are outside the proposed garage are prohibited. And eight, storage of combustible or hazardous materials within or outside the proposed garage, including gasoline and used motor vehicle in excess of 5 gallons, is prohibited. These are all standard conditions. Anything else?
One question on that, and Scott, maybe you have the answer to this. I know you want the single-phase electric because you don't want any commercial activity.
Yeah.
Is that sufficient for charging electric cars? Is it that's that I just put one in my garage.
Yes,
It would be a 240 volt
Exactly.
standard drop for a 200 amp panel.
yeah, he could.
So that would that be considered single phase? I mean, I don't know.
It could be. I'm not an electrician by
Yeah.
trade.
Okay. I just thought with the prevalence
But
of electric cars.
it's been done on single-family homes that have single phase, so.
All right.
Yes.
Okay.
Scott, question that I have. We approve it with these conditions. As far as the ADU, his next step is to go to you just for a permit relative to the, well, he has to get a
can-
permit to construct the structure.
Yeah, he can actually come to us with the whole package if he wants. And that would probably be your best bet, because you have a 20-day appeal. For, if it's approved tonight, you have a 20-day appeal for that garage portion of it. If you go to build it now, you're doing it at your own risk. So he can do a whole package of the garage and the ADU on top.
But they're separate requests, or?
No, he can do it all in one thing, but he
Okay.
just has to describe in his application garage, two-car garage with ADU above.
Okay.
And the plans are gonna show us what we need to see, so. I spoke to Mr. Merritt for a long
okay.
time, and I told him, I was like, because you have the oversized garage, unfortunately, you have to go in, it's over the height requirement, so.
Okay.
I have a question on, I believe it was the first line you used, the square, did you say the total square footage of the garage structure
No, I said the footprint is 896.
of the foundation?
Yeah,
Okay.
because again, the bylaw says a footprint that's over 625, you need a special
Correct.
permit from us, so that's why you're here.
It's what you have.
Okay.
So you basically got 896 on the first floor, you probably have the same, or maybe
That
a
was the
little less on
design.
the second.
Yes,
so,
exactly.
yeah. Okay, anything else?
Nope.
Motion?
Motion to approve the request for special permit for 15 West Street with conditions as just read.
Second?
Okay, all in favor? Okay, we'll
Thank you
draft
very much.
a decision, we'll sign it, file it with the town clerk. As Scott indicated, that starts a 20-day appeal period.
I'm gonna wait.
Okay.
Be smart.
When the appeal period runs, take the decision and file it in the registry of deeds. And they'll give you evidence that it's been filed. You need to submit that with your application to Scott.
Yeah, with your application, I just need that front page showing that you're registered with, you recorded at the registry of deeds.
Okay.
The booking page and stuff like that. We don't need the whole special permit.
Okay.
I get that from the administrative assistant right
All
here.
right, so I go to the registry deeds.
Yes.
Very good.
Good.
Thank you very much.
If you have any questions, just let Scott know.
Can I just get those two plans back?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll need a copy of that too. No. We can scan it when you come to apply. Oh, even better, even better. Okay, perfect. Okay. Yeah, you should be fine. If it's in there, if we have any other questions, we can tell you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Diana, do you have another copy of the agenda? I got it here someplace, I'm just not sure where I did it. Oh, I got it, I'm sorry, all set. All right, the time being 7:20 PM, Jackson Homes LLC seeks a special permit and finding pursuant to the code of the town of Foxborough, Massachusetts, Chapter 275, zoning, Section 563, to allow the demolition and reconstruction of an pre-existing non-conforming single-family residential structure to be reconstructed such that the habitable floor area of the new single-family residential structure will exceed that of the existing structure by 25% or more, and any such other zoning relief, as, if any, as the board may determine to be necessary and appropriate. Property is located at 298 Cohasset Street in the R40 Residential and Agricultural District, and is not located in any restrictive overlay district. I haven't seen or heard from Frank in about, I don't know, 5 hours. And I suggested when I saw him this morning, he didn't have to wear a suit tonight, but at least accommodate by not wearing a tie, so.
Thank you. Good evening, Attorney Frank Spillane here for the applicant, Jackson Homes LLC. Also with me is Joseph Lynch, who's the manager of the property. And also at the table is Bill Buckley, civil engineer for for the project. Initially, I just want to make sure all the members got the revised ZBA plan, as well as the revised floor plan and elevation plans that we sent in subsequently to our filing. The initial filing contained the wrong house design on the ZBA plan. So they changed that so the garage was on the right-hand side. We also subsequently changed the driveway from Fairbanks Road over to Cocasset Street. And that was for a number of different reasons. I think it just works out better that way, going off of Cocasset Street. So again, you have the revised ZBA plan and revised elevation, as well as floor plans.
Excuse me, did you have a hard time hearing? Can you speak up a little bit?
Sure.
Please, thank you very much.
Yep.
You can pull that closer to your mic if you can. Yeah, there you go.
So again, the property is located at 298 Cocasset Street within the R40 zoning district. It's at the corner of Cocasset and Fairbanks Road, and therefore is a corner lot. So it has 2 front yards and 2 side yards. It's also almost directly across from Moore Street. As stated earlier, the applicants requested a special permit under section 5.6.3 to allow the pre-existing non-conforming single-family dwelling to be reconstructed after demolition as a single-family dwelling, such that the habitable floor area of the new structure will exceed by 25% or more the habitable floor area of the existing structure, will be located other than on the original footprint, and will exceed the gross floor area of the existing structure. 298 Cocasset Street is a pre-existing non-conforming lot because it contains 18,860 square feet of area, where 40,000 square feet of area is required in the R40 zoning district. The lot frontage is 144 feet on Fairbanks Road and 105 feet on Cocasset Street, where 200 feet of frontage is required on one street for a corner lot, and that's under section 4.2.41. So we don't meet the frontage requirement because we don't have 200 feet of frontage on one street. The existing single-family dwelling contains approximately 1,343 square feet of habitable floor area and has approximately a gross floor area of 2,700 square feet. Which includes approximately 2,304 square feet of the house and 396 square feet of the garage. And all that information is per the town of Foxborough assessors. Again, the applicant is requesting that special permit to allow the reconstruction of the pre-existing non-conforming dwelling. Again, the habitable floor area of the existing structure is 1,343 and a gross area of 2,700 square feet. The new single-family dwelling will have a habitable floor area of 3,135 square feet, with 910 square feet on the first floor, 1,325 square feet on the second floor, and 900 square feet in the basement. Again, the basement is an estimate. Mr. Lynch puts his property on the market with unfinished basements, but many times the buyer will ask for the basement to be finished, so we've included that in our numbers. And again, that is an increase of more than 25% or more of the habitable floor area of the existing structure. So again, we're going from habitable floor area of 1,343 to 3,135 square feet of habitable floor area. Again, the proposed structure will contain a front yard of 36 feet on Fairbanks Road and 65 feet on Cocasset Street, where 25 feet is required, so we'll be meeting the setbacks there. And a side yard of 16 feet and 55 feet, where 15 feet is required. So again, we'll be meeting all the zoning setback requirements with the proposed structure. Again, it will be located not on the original footprint. The house has been moved back. It's not as close to Caucasus Street as the existing structure. And again, its footprint is larger than the existing structure. The gross floor area will exceed the existing structure. The proposed will have a gross floor area of 4,643 square feet, 1,845 square feet on the first floor, 1,529 square feet on the second floor, and the basement has 1,269 feet. The existing structure has 2,700 square feet of gross floor area, so again, it'll exceed the existing structure. And those are what we need the special permits for under section 563. Again, the lot area and frontage will continue to be non-conforming, but the house will meet all the setback requirements. Just for the board's knowledge, the house was originally built in 1857.
56.
On approximately a half acre, that's what the old deeds indicate, by Jeremy Fairbanks, who bought it in 1856. As I know the board knows, the board, to grant the special permits that we've requested, you must find that the proposed reconstructed single-family structure shall not be substantially more detrimental to the neighborhood in which the structure at issue is located than the existing non-conforming structure. Also under section 10.4.1, which authorizes the board to grant special permit after consideration of certain criteria, as well as the determination that the adverse effect of the proposed use will not outweigh its beneficial impact to the town or the neighborhood in view of particular characteristics of the site and the proposal in relation to the site. Again, the factors under 10.4, 1 and 2 includes community needs serviced by the proposal, traffic flow and safety, including parking and loading, adequacy of utilities and other public services, neighborhood character and social structure, impact on the natural environment, as well as potential economic and fiscal impact to the town. Since the proposed single-family dwelling will continue to be a single-family residential structure, the same as the existing structure, it will not affect any specific community needs, but will serve the housing storage needs stated by the Commonwealth. The existing structure currently is uninhabitable and at this time, and no one's living there. By reconstructing it, it will go back on the market as a habitable structure and be used for living. Additionally, the proposed dwelling will not present any traffic or safety issues, in addition to any that previously existed with respect to the existing dwelling, and will have no impact on natural environment. Since the property is currently adequately served by utilities and public services, our proposed dwelling will not impose the need for any additional requirements in that nature. Construction and the use of the proposed single-family dwelling will have no negative impact.
Excuse me, we can't hear the thing. It's just bumping, we can't hear anything.
Yeah, we need to hear what's going on. It affects us.
Okay.
Frank, would it be easier to be at the podium?
Probably, yeah.
Sure.
And at least that way you can also,
But I can't hear a word you're saying.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I can hear myself very well.
you know, the microphones are not microphones for you. It's just for the video, so it's
Yeah.
not as if, you know, it's not as if this is amplifying anything for the purpose of the audience. So.
We can't hear you.
Yeah, I hear you.
I'm
That's
talking
close.
that way, so I apologize.
Yeah.
So again, I'm going through some of the factors that are considered. Again, the construction and use of the proposed single-family dwelling will have no negative effect on the character or social structure of the neighborhood because the premises will continue as a site for a single-family residential structure, so there'll be no change there. The neighborhood character will actually be enhanced because the proposed dwelling will be an improvement in appearance and location as compared to the existing structure. There are some benefits to the town for economical and fiscal perspective, as the construction will result in fees and an increase of property tax assessment for the town of Foxborough. Therefore, the construction of the proposed single-family dwelling will not be substantially more detrimental to the neighborhood in which it is located than is the existing single-family dwelling, and any adverse effect of the proposed single-family dwelling will not outweigh its beneficial impact to the town or the neighborhood in which the property is situated, specifically in view of the particular characteristics of the site and the proposed single-family dwelling in relation to the site. Mr. Lynch feels strongly that this is going to be good for both the neighborhood by taking down the old residential structure and putting up a new house, a brand-new house for a single-family dwelling, which is there now and will be after the fact.
So essentially what's being proposed is the complete demolition of the existing house, which looks pretty good from the outside, but I understand it's pretty in rough shape, internally.
We understand that.
Okay.
We know.
It's going to be replaced by a larger home. The larger home will be, the front of the larger home will be facing Fairbanks Road.
Why?
But access to the property...
Why is that? Excuse me, why is that?
Wait, we'll get to public comment when I'm ready, okay? Just please wait. Access to the property is going to be from Cocasset Street and not from Fairbanks, as is the current access. So Frank, the one question I have, maybe Bill, you're the better one to respond to it. From the corner of Fairbanks and Cocasset to where the driveway is, how much distance is that?
I can simplify that. It's one car up or one car down.
Would you please?
Please, there'll be time for public comment. Can
Just
we
wait.
let him?
15 feet.
About 15 feet. And right now, it's pretty much flush to Fairbanks, as far as I can tell, by driving by. Okay, any questions from here?
No, when I drove by the front access and seeing how narrow Fairbanks was, that was a concern to me, but it looks like now with the access coming from Cocasset, that would address, because I thought, geez, if you were accessing in, it would be like a short distance from the corner into the driveway that might back up. But keeping it on Cocasset makes sense to me.
Is the plan to keep the entrance on Cocasset? Because my drawing shows it on Fairbanks.
That's the old one, yeah.
Oh, that's the old one?
one,
Okay, got it, okay.
yeah.
So it is as proposed there?
Yes.
Okay,
This
got
is
it.
a new plan.
Got it, okay.
Eric, any questions?
There's a plaque on that house, correct? Talking about the original owner?
Yeah, there is I think the Historic Commission issues them to houses that are over 130 or 40 years.
All right, my only question is whether there's any applicability to the Foxborough Historic Commission.
Yeah, he's going to have to...
Yeah, we've had a meeting with them. They came out, walked the house. Then they went back and had their own meeting Monday afterwards. And as far as I understand, they were going to send a letter to the building department that there was no historical significance in the house and it was basically falling apart.
But again, that's because the house is more than, I think it's 75 years.
75, okay.
Yeah.
Historic Commission.
Thank you.
Kurt, any questions?
No, not at this point.
Okay, Frank, anything else, or?
No, that's it.
Okay, I'm going to open this to public comment and questions. You're going to have to come up to the microphone. You're going to have to identify yourself by name and address. The questions are addressed to the board, and if we feel that they pertain to this application, we'll allow the applicant to respond to that. Before doing that, just want to make it clear that we received an email on August 13th from Raymond Fuller of 3 Fairbanks Road. I am in receipt of the Zoning Board of Appeals letter dated August 4, 2026, notifying us of a public hearing on August 20, 2026 for a special permit for the proposed project at 298 Cocasset Street. The letter advises that copies of the application are on file and available for public view. I did obtain copies of the project plans, which I presume will be presented at the meeting. Upon review, I am a little confused as to the actual footprint and layout of the project. I have attached 3 documents highlighting some of the confusion. The plot plan indicates a new dwelling on Fairbanks Road with a driveway exiting onto Fairbanks Road from the right side of the new dwelling. The proposed front elevation design does not match the plot plan. The garage portion of the dwelling appears on the left side of the dwelling. A further look at the proposed left elevation design confirms the garage portion on the left side and would indicate that the driveway will be placed on the left side of the new dwelling, which again is different from the plot plan. Can you confirm that these are the current set of plans for the meeting agenda? There seems to be discrepancies between these documents, and if we are to be an informed public, we would need clean documents in order to understand the project. So after receiving this email, I asked Diana to forward it to Mr. Spillane, which she did. The plans that you're seeing tonight, which Mr. Spillane has explained, it responds to those comments. So as you can see, although the house, again, is still facing Fairbanks Road, the garage is no longer facing, I guess it would be, north, it's now facing south. And the access to the property, the driveway to the property, is from Cocasset Street. So those questions and comments from Mr. Fuller have been addressed. Now, again, if anybody wishes to be heard, you need to come to the microphone, identify yourself by name and address.
Can we
Yeah,
get the
microphone.
plan so we can see the blueprint?
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you'd like to come up and take a look, please feel free.
Yeah, I would.
Thank you. We don't have to have a...
Oh, thank you.
So we're pushing this way back here.
Yeah, thank you, thank you.
Frank, you remember what's that?
Yeah, I know. The original house is way up.
You guys have them all.
We have,
Pushing this way
Yeah,
back.
I have the old one, yeah.
No, I gave you both.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, the correct one was in the bottom of the pile.
Their address.
Actually, again, if you want to ask a question,
My
please,
address, I'm sorry.
no, go to the microphone.
This one.
This one, yes.
I'm curious. So,
No, sit down, please. Why don't you sit down and relax.
I'm sorry, this is all new to me.
Sure, yeah, that's fine.
And again, please let us know who you are.
My question
Yeah,
is...
who are you? That's my first question. Who are you?
Who am I? I happen to be this person here.
Which is?
1 Fairbanks Road, and that's my question.
And your name, please?
I'm sorry?
Your name.
Oh, my name is Peggy Mullen. My official name is Marguerite, but I'm known
Okay.
as Peggy Mullen.
And you're at 1 Fairbanks, thank you.
1 Fairbanks, yeah. And that's my question, is if this house is going to be facing Fairbanks Road, what's your address going to be?
That'll be an issue that'll have to be determined by the planning board and the representative there who gives
I
out the
can't
address.
hear you, I'm sorry.
That'll be determined in the future. There's an individual that works for the town that works on determining the address. And they
Okay.
take all things into
Well,
consideration.
I'm sorry, the future is not good enough for me, because I'm number 1 Fairbanks Road, so what is that going to mean? We have to change our address if you're number 1, if you're the first one in? I mean, we're the first one in, so you know what I mean? I'm trying to understand.
Sure.
So, telling me it's in the future is not good enough. Sorry, it's not. We've been 1 Fairbanks Road for more than 40 years, and, I need to know now what your plan is, so. And why would you have the address on Fairbanks Road? It's a narrow, 1 car in, 1 car out. There's not enough room for 2 cars. But you're like, in either direction. If someone is coming in, when we're coming out of our driveway, we back into our driveway because there's not enough
But man,
room.
there'd be no access to the new house from Fairbanks, so you wouldn't be driving down Fairbanks. You'd be pulling into the street from Cohasset.
From
the house.
Cohasset
Yeah,
Street,
so
yeah,
there wouldn't be a
okay.
need to drive. There's no entrance to the property from Fairbanks.
Okay, so basically, the residence is going to be facing Fairbanks.
Yes, the front door will be
Make
facing
it a little-
Fairbanks, but there'll be no need to drive a car down Fairbanks because there's no way to access the property via a car from Fairbanks.
Okay,
You can only access the property via a car from Cohasset Street.
okay, okay. That's good. I think that's important, but I still want to know what my address
Yeah,
is.
we can't tell you tonight because we don't make that decision.
Yeah.
So I appreciate your passion for it, but saying that it's not good enough and you need it tonight is not something that can be done.
Okay, so what can I expect then?
I work with Gabby Jordan, who would do this, and not to speak for Gabby, but I'm assuming if the mailbox stays on Cohasset, the address would stay on Cohasset.
Okay,
That would be my assumption too, but I didn't want to speak for anyone.
Yeah.
I appreciate,
sell our address if we have.
They could be one half.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes,
I'm Tom Mullen,
okay.
and I am the abutter right next to the proposed building that's going in. And it's getting pretty close to my property line there. I have no problems whatsoever with a new house. Even though that one was just rehabbed not too long ago, and people have been living in it, it is old, and I have been in it, and it would be nice to welcome a new house there. However, now comes the other part. We have a front lawn here of 36 feet off of Fairbanks Road, and we have this driveway coming in here into this. The driveway that was put in on the Cohasset Street that's being torn down, they added to that driveway when they rehabbed, I guess it was Dan Lynch, rehabbed that building. How many square feet? This is a big house for this neighborhood, four-bedroom house. And 16 feet, is that normal abutment, 16 feet, or are we looking for a special?
Well, again, this is a corner lot, so as Mr. Spillane indicated, corner lots have
it's
two front yards.
It's a corner lot on a private road that's 9
Correct.
feet wide.
Correct, but
And
it's,
so that can be brought up many times. It doesn't meet the town, it doesn't meet a state or any requirements. When we tried to bring it and get the street paved, we were told it's not wide enough. Now, all of a sudden, we'd be told, oh, it's wide enough. So we've already gone through that before.
but from a zoning standpoint,
Yeah,
this is a corner lot. It has a front yard on Fairbanks and a front yard on Cohasset and two side yards. The zoning bylaw requires a 15-foot setback
setback, yeah,
for side yards.
okay.
And so he meets it plus one,
Gotta
plus 1
change my
foot.
glasses so you're not a blur there. So, square footage wise, this house is fitting on this little piece of property? That seems like a big jump. It's not a big piece of property. This seems like an awfully big house to be putting there. There are no four-bedroom houses around there. You do like a new house, but
If you look at your plan there, you'll see there's a box that goes around there.
The dash line.
oh yeah, the dash
Yep.
line, that's,
The house can go anywhere within that box.
all right, so you can move it this way, you can move it that way. But is this house going to be tied to a septic system, or, I mean, sewage, or is it going to
It
be,
may be septic or maybe sewer.
we don't know yet.
No, but he's looking into tying into the sewer.
Okay, so if they tie into the sewer, I can tie into the sewer too?
I don't know that.
I'm putting the pressure on you, that's all.
Well, you might be able to, but you might have to run the pipes down the street.
That's a,
Expensive
Huh?
endeavor.
that's a whole other thing with the town here. Fairbanks Road is, it's just a tiny, tiny road.
It goes back to the
It's an Indian
early
path.
1800s.
It was an Indian path.
That makes sense. I thought it was a cart path, but that makes sense, too.
what path?
A cart path,
Oh,
originally.
well, I was told it was an Indian path many, many years ago, going into Dorchester. But it's just so narrow that, this is the main concern, really, is the driveway getting in and out of it. When I say it's one car up and one car down, it's true. You can't,
Yeah, there'd be no extra traffic again. There'd be no extra traffic on Fairbanks at all.
And again, the driveway right now,
it wasn't supposed to be extra traffic on Fairbanks Road before.
Right.
So maybe it's not supposed to, but that doesn't mean it isn't.
No, what I mean is that you can't enter this new property. You can't park, you can't get into the property from Fairbanks. So unless you
door,
drive across
no
the
front-
lawn or
Is that what you're
something.
trying to say? There's no front door?
No,
no side door?
For
no,
a
the
vehicle
the access to the
Yeah.
property is from Cohasset. The driveway is on Cohasset. So anybody who lives there will be entering the property or leaving the property from that
That's the way-
driveway on Cohasset.
That's the way it is now. It's actually
Right.
even better
Right.
because they paved part of the front lawn at one time, whenever it was bought from Mulvey, whenever.
But there won't be a car making a turn off of Cohasset onto Fairbanks to access the property.
You can't access it from a vehicle. There is a front door, but you can't access it from a vehicle.
Is this the driveway? The
Yes,
driveway's
this is
over here,
driveway.
and here is Fairbanks Road. This is paved, this area right here is paved right now. That'll be gone, right? And that'll all be all grass?
That's what we're proposing, yes. But this would be the driveway.
This would be the driveway off of Cocasset Street, and this will be your front lawn, and it'll be all grass,
It'll be grassed.
and we'll maintain everything. And this is allowed to go anywhere in here, as long as you keep,
Setbacks.
yeah, I had to deal with that once, and only once. Okay, but you can move this house, whether it's back this way, or, that's what I,
He could,
Physically.
but typically you like to have a bigger backyard than a front yard, and that's why people usually have the front yard,
Yeah,
just not the setback.
brought it
If-
close to the
yeah.
front yard.
If that was the case, you would have turned the house the other way and had a big backyard.
Well, I think a Fairbanks-faced home is more desirable than a Cocasset Street.
Faced home? Okay, I'm glad you said that, right? Don't disagree with it. But you can't get down there, you can't get, you just
You
told
gotta
me, you
drive
can't.
in, you gotta
Yeah,
drive
you gotta
in.
drive in here, you're not gonna go down Fairbanks Road. All right, well, it answers a few questions. I personally think it's a rather large house for that little area.
It's a big garage.
Yeah,
And
well, it
again,
adds to this, how many square feet is the total house now? And that includes the footing of the garage?
I think you said 2,700, Frank, gross?
Gross,
Yeah,
yes.
2,700.
And the existing house is,
And the existing is 2,700,
That's the gross area,
yeah,
not the footprint.
right.
all right, so the footprint tells me more.
Well, the footprint for the existing is for just the house,
Just the house, not the
I would
unattached.
assume it's-
I mean, the unattached garage,
23, is it 2 floors, Joe?
There is a second floor, yeah.
the second floor.
So I really don't know.
How about just the footprint?
I don't know that off the top of my head. Because we have the habitable floor area and the gross, which includes both floors.
The
And
habitable is
again,
going,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, it's just going from 1343 to 3135, so it's slightly more than double the size.
Yeah, almost triple the size. Yeah.
No, it's a little double, and you're
No,
taking,
it's a little
It's a little bit double.
you're also eliminating the additional garage, the
Correct.
accessory
Right.
garage.
You're not including that in the existing number, so.
Yeah.
I guess my 2 cents is that I welcome a new house, no problems with it. Stay away from Fairbanks Road out here because it's just dangerous. Off of Cocasset Street that's dangerous too, to be honest with you.
Well, to be honest with you, that's one of the reasons why I originally came off
Yeah,
of Fairbanks.
it's just, Cocasset's just so narrow.
Right.
No cars, when one car is leaving that little street, if you're on Cocasset Street, the person on has to back up and out of the way, because there's no way 2 cars can get next to each other.
Mhm.
And that's one of the parts that's, it's kind of scary. It happens. So anyways, that's my 2 cents worth.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
That's it. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Raymond Fuller, 3 Fairbanks Road. And I want to thank the board for the fast response to my email. That was much appreciated. I have a concern with the history of Fairbanks Road. It was always dirt, and then it was paved. And when you get down towards Cocasset Street, there seems to be like a gully. There's not a straight run. The town put in a manhole, but it's just a small holding tank. So a question I have, and that's at the property of the Mullins and Fairbanks. And my question is, when you look at the property, it kind of slopes down, so there's a natural run. So is the elevation of the land that the house is now on going to come up, and is that going to affect the flow of water through the neighborhood? And that's one of my concerns. And if you look on the other side of Fairbanks Road, it drops off fairly fast and right into the basement of the house on the other side of Fairbanks Road. So that's my only concern, is hopefully someone's looking at that and saying, okay, we need to make sure that the water's going to flow, because I'm assuming that it's going to be built up to the level of Fairbanks Road. So,
Joe, can you respond, or?
I don't think we have, created a whole grading plan, but I hear what he's saying in terms of it being a little lower in the yard. I wasn't aware that there's no drainage on Fairbanks, so I think it's been there forever, and the grade is whatever the grade is.
Yep, that one tank, the grade you see there is just a holding area. It doesn't go into the town system and get hauled away. So if you get too much water there, it's just going to back up and not go anywhere. So that's all. I'm just trying to think ahead and throw some stuff out.
Yeah, I don't think that we would be grading it so that the whole yard is going there. The yard in general goes to the back.
Yep.
Over
Yep.
on the backside,
Right.
because it's lower out there. So I would think most of drainage will continue going in that direction.
And again, the roof runoff will be put underground.
Recharged.
Okay. No, that was my concern. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, any further?
I would like to.
Okay.
Good evening, everybody. Hi. Hello. My name is David Greenberg. I live at 3 Fairbanks Road. I'm not, sorry, number 2, the other side. A little bit confused. All right, a little bit 2. As with all my neighbors here, it is a very narrow road. It's always been a point of contention trying to get that street all squared away. Drainage is definitely a problem. Also, the house that you proposed on, thank you for building a new house. That's going to look, it's going to be really nice. My concern is 2.5 to 3 times the size of what's there right now. Huge. That raises some questions as well. Facing on Fairbanks Road, that's going to be a problem for us getting in and out. I know that you don't have access not on Fairbanks Road, but from Cocasset Street. During construction, as Ray pointed out, who's at 3 Fairbanks Road, okay, is when you grade it, we've always had water problems, always had snow problems, always had prowl problems, and what's there right now is a dry well, right in front of, pretty much in front of Tom's driveway. And when that gets flooded up, it gets plowed down. If you go down there right now, you'll see that recently, like last year, they came down, they tried to fix it. They cut out a square area to try to fix that grate, that dry well. Plows go up and down that street, they dig it up, it's getting hacked up again. The problem is ongoing, which raises my concern, like Ray just did, about when you grade that property, the grade of the property when the front yard is on Fairbanks Road, which I really don't think is a good idea. It's going to be 36 feet back. There's going to be a lot of lawn there. There's going to be a lot of backfill. There's going to be a lot of construction. that water is not only going to continue to flow onto Fairbanks Road, but it's going to flow also onto our neighbor Ruth Ann. Hi, Ruth Ann, in her basement, right, and you know Ruth Ann, where she lives, and she's been flooded out in the past. This is going to cause a lot of problems for us. I would like you to be able to do something, maybe even reposition the house and turn it so that the front is facing Fairbanks, is facing Cocasset Street, the front door, and you can have the driveway on the right side as you're looking at the house from Cocasset Street, driveway on the right, with your driveway and garage there on the right side.
I honestly don't understand how changing the facing of the house is going to affect anything, but eventually Mr. Buckley will have to design the elevations there. He can't have any more water going on to any neighboring property than is currently going. And typically, he puts less there. A lot of it is because of the roof runoff, which goes into a recharge underground. And he works with the rest of it to make sure at least no more than that's going in that direction is going. And typically, he can do less. And he'll probably try to slope as best he can to have it more going to Cocasset Street.
So why is, I mean, not to interrupt you, I apologize. So the design of that we're looking at right now, the front door is on Fairbanks Road.
It's facing Fairbanks, yes.
Why?
That's the way Mr. Lynch decided to.
Can it be
center-
redesigned so that the front door is set back, and you got plenty of frontage right there, as you can see right there, where you can just turn the house around and have the front facing Cocasset Street, and what that left side would be on facing Fairbanks Road. Turn the house around.
Mr. Lynch's preference is to have it, the design that's there now. That's his preference.
We looked at all different options and felt that this was the best
It's gonna be a
option
huge
for
house.
my risk.
House is
Yeah, no,
gonna
I
be huge.
understand. Well,
It'll be a huge, it's going to be,
It's going to be 2.5, 3 times the size of what it is right now. There's no question that that's
it's about
disputable.
twice, depending on what numbers you look at, about twice as big.
Like you
yeah.
said, like 1,300 square feet, and now it's gone up to 3,300 square feet, somewhere around there, right?
Depending on where you look at it, it's either 233% increase or 172% increase, depending on what numbers you look at. So let's just say it's going to be twice as big, but those are the houses, you know, Mr. Lynch's clientele are looking for.
So the way it is right now, the driveway is going to be on Cocasset Street, so if I was to live there, I'd have to be pulling in and out on, going into my new home, let's say that was my new home, going on from Cocasset Street to the driveway, going into my house, in my front yard, the front door is going to be on Fairbanks Road.
Yes, and there are a few houses like that
Where?
in Foxborough. There's one off of.
Not on our private road, there isn't.
no.
No, but there are other ones. There's one further up on Cocasset Street, closer to town. I can't remember.
I mean, as owners of that road, why don't we have a say as to the position and location of the orientation of that house?
You want to say over Mr. Lynch's house and property?
Yes, actually, we do. The position of that house, the front yard, is going to be facing Fairbanks Road. If you look at that proposal, the way it's trapezoidally placed, the way it's set back 15, 16 feet off of Tom and Peggy's house there, just turn it around so you have more space in the front of the house, set it back. Well, I don't understand why you wouldn't want to do that.
Because Mr. Lynch has determined that this is the house and the position he wants the house.
Any reconsideration?
Not at this moment, no.
I looked at it pretty carefully, and I thought having frontage face Fairbanks was better from a
marketing standpoint?
marketing standpoint.
I can
I mean, I do
understand
it to, to try to make money, it's my living.
I understand
So
that.
I looked at Cocasset.
But we live there.
No, I understand. But if we own the property and we're meeting the zoning requirements, then I've done what I'm supposed to do to, make my filing.
So the front entrance of your house is going to be on Fairbanks Road?
The front door will
The
be.
front door will be on Fairbanks Road?
Yeah.
That's not the orientation of the property as it sits right now. Front door for that house is on Cocasset Street.
Right.
That's how it should be positioned.
I don't believe there's any regulation that requires the
My
developer
neighbor's
to.
here. Anybody disagree with me on this?
Well, the one thing that we will run into, and we have.
Hold it. Again, you got to be at the microphone. This is,
It's okay.
This is Mr. Lynch's property, or will be once he purchases it. He's entitled to have the house face whichever direction he wants it to face. From a zoning standpoint, all we're required to consider is whether he meets the specific provisions of the zoning bylaw.
Will he also be responsible for the Fairbanks Road and the conditions during the construction with all the water problems that we have? Because it's definitely going to change the flow of that water in the street on Fairbanks Road. It's going to happen.
I would think that the property will be engineered such that that will not be an issue. I can't believe that Mr. Lynch will...
Tom Mullen, I'm at 1 Fairbanks.
I'm not finished yet.
I'm sorry, okay.
I can't believe that Mr. Lynch will develop a piece of property that I assume you're going to sell at some point.
Yeah.
And create problems for the new owner of that property, and obviously create problems for himself in trying to sell it. So I'm sure he's going to cause his contractors and cause his engineer to develop the property appropriately. And again, it's his property. You do not have a say over how he orients the house on that property. You don't own that property. It's his, or will be his when he purchases it.
Of course I understand that.
Well, that's not what you said before, though.
You said that you should have a say, but it's...
As owners of the street and the road, we should have a say. We should. The front door is going to be on Fairbanks Road. All the construction, the backfill, the basement, elevation, it's going to be a huge home. That's going to change the whole nature, the whole structure of Fairbanks Road. That road is always a problem. I don't know, the board members, if you've been in tune with what's going on with that road over these last 40, 50 years, but it's always been a problem, especially when it gets cold and it rains a lot and it gets icy and snowy. Always a problem.
From the board, just so we understand, it's an unaccepted way. The town does plow in accordance with state law and a determination at a prior town meeting. Town does not take care of the water main, does not take care of the road itself as far as repaving or anything of that nature. Town does do the plowing of that road.
Correct me if I'm wrong, I think there might be a little bit of an amendment to that. Because of the water main with the fire hydrant, isn't the town obligated to plow that road?
The town does plow the road.
That's right, so...
That's what I said,
it is
the
a
town
private road.
the town plows the road.
It's a private road, there is a water main, so it's the town's obligation to take care of that road. We don't want it 18 feet wide, because that's always been a battle. We're not going to give up the property, the frontage and whatnot.
We're not discussing the road here. I mean,
Well, it's going to affect it. That's the whole thing. It's all going to come back to the whole full circle, how that property with the construction and the building of this house 2.5 times the size of what it is going to affect our road.
We don't think it's going to affect the road at all. It'll be designed properly, so there's no effect on the road because of the change.
So this whole meeting for us, for having some objections, is pretty much a done deal from what you're saying.
Well, we haven't made a decision yet.
and he's complying with all the laws, so from our perspective, that's something we have to look at as well.
And then to bring up Peggy's point, so the front is on Fairbanks Road, so the address now will probably be Fairbanks Road.
No, we're not going to change everybody's address. So most likely it's going to be
It'll remain
298 Cocasset Street.
Yeah.
I don't agree with it. I just don't, I object.
Okay.
Anything else you want to say?
Yeah, I want the mic.
You got it.
All right, just to bring up some, Tom Mullen, 1 Fairbanks Road. So I won't bring up any issues that could happen. I will bring up the issues that do happen. It's a 4-bedroom house.
Yes.
It's a 2-car garage.
Yes.
Where are people going to park when there's a party and when they have guests? Because this we've already gone through. You going to widen Fairbanks Road?
No.
Because it wouldn't be the first time I've gone to leave my house or come into my house and there's cars parked on Fairbanks Road. So you don't want to touch it, but you're going to create a problem. You're building a 4-bedroom house
But if there's
with a
already a
2-car
problem,
garage.
you just said that you come out and there are cars there,
Yeah.
so there's an existing problem.
Yeah, I just said, I'm not giving you a new problem. I'm telling you an
You just
existing
said he's
problem.
creating a problem with a problem that exists.
Well, I'm putting down what's happened in the past.
Right, so he's
where
not
people
creating the
can't-
problem because it's already a problem that exists.
It exists until the police are called, that's about it.
Right.
And it's
It's not probably
It's
not
Dan's
legal.
house anyways, it's right? We keep calling him the new landlord, but it is his house, I believe, right? He bought it from Mulvey.
Yeah, my dad owns the house.
Yeah, yeah. So, and I know you had your issues with the people who were there, and that was one of the, that's one of them. That's one of the issues, is like, you go down the road, and you can't get down there.
It's probably not legal
A
to park
fire
there,
truck,
right?
a fire truck, if it had to go down there,
Right.
they can't go down there. So it's a big house, 4-bedroom, 2-car garage. I'm not a genius with numbers, but, it happens. Everybody has cars. I don't want to see people parking on Fairbanks Road, we've had the post office stop bringing cars, we've had the garbage men stop coming down, because there's cars parked there. I've had to lay on my horn to get out the road because there's been cars parked there. I'm not saying you're creating that. It existed when the tenants who moved in there, who were there, that's what did it. They paved, well, that's your dad, so he paved part of that front lawn.
I guess.
He did. And I actually thought it was a good idea, to be honest with you, except when 8 and 9 cars showed up, it wasn't such a good idea. So,
65.
I guess what I'm trying to say, I'm nothing against the new house, but don't create a problem where you're putting 10 people in there and only 2 car spaces or 4 car spaces. Just kind of be aware that that's there.
I'm aware.
All right. That's it for me, nothing else.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, do we have any questions? Frank, anything you want to,
No, thank you.
can understand that. Want to close the public portion of the hearing?
Motion to close the public portion of this hearing.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
As Frank indicated, and we've had these kinds of applications before, because the house is non-conforming, and because it's going to be totally demolished with a proposed reconstruction, again, of a larger house, we have to make a determination as to what will be there is not substantially detrimental to the neighborhood than is the existing non-conforming structure. And as Frank indicated, there are a number of criteria that we have to consider with respect to a special permit. So the first one, again, is community needs served by the proposal. I think one of the community needs is a better structure there, something that's more visually pleasing, something that will obviously accommodate its residents to a degree. From what I understand, the current house does not allow. There is a housing need in Foxborough, and certainly by changing one house to another, where may not be furthering that need, but we're certainly accommodating that need. Traffic flow and safety, including parking and loading. I understand there is a traffic problem in that area. I mean, there's a traffic problem along Cocasset Street in general.
Busy road.
But with the driveway, the access to and egress from the property on Cocasset Street at a location that's farther away from where the current driveway is, where the current access is, I think that we're, enhancing safety, certainly for the people who are accessing the property or exiting from the property. I recognize there's an issue on Fairbanks Road. Again, this house is fronting, even though it's fronting Fairbanks, it's also fronting Cocasset. That's its legal frontage. That's where access and egress is going to be from. So I don't see any exacerbation of any existing issues that may occur. The property is already adequately served by utilities and public services. Joe, you mentioned you may want to go onto sewage.
There is a sewer manhole in the street.
Is that a possibility?
It is a possibility. I've been actually trying to get in touch with Chris Gallagher. But actually, on my project further down the street, we tied in a force main right up to that manhole. So there is a 4-inch force main on the other side of the street.
Okay. Neighborhood character and social structures. Again, number one, it's going to continue to be used as a single-family structure. Perhaps a more visually pleasing structure than at present. The neighborhood is not just Fairbanks Road. The neighborhood is also the area on Cocasset Street that's proximate to the property. And notwithstanding that this may be larger house than other houses on Fairbanks Road, there are other houses on Cocasset Street that are of a comparable size. So I don't see anything detrimental to the character of the neighborhood. I don't see any impact on the natural environment. Obviously, as a larger house, there's going to be a benefit to the town from a tax standpoint. So from my perspective, will some people experience a detriment by having a bigger house? Maybe. I don't personally agree with that, but I understand why people might feel that way. But it's certainly not, to my mind, substantially, more detrimental to the neighborhood than his existing structure. So I would be inclined to approve the requested permit. Don't all speak at once.
I mean, I would agree with you that, the pros outweigh the cons on this one, in my opinion, like you outlined, Bonnie. And presuming that the house is going to be keeping in character with the neighborhood, I presume all that.
I think we sent in elevations.
I agree. I think it meets all the criteria that it's required to meet. I hear the concerns about the issues on that road, but again, understanding how this construction is managed, and believe all the engineering would prevent any worsening of whatever the existing problems are.
Right. Yeah.
And so, again, I agree to go forward and approve it.
Eric?
I don't have anything to add. I agree. I thought you summed it up pretty well.
Scott, do you have any comments, or I don't blame you? So I would have, the consensus is that we would approve this. I just have three conditions that I would suggest. Number one is that the location of the proposed dwelling be as shown on the certified plot plan, and is to comply with the front, side, and rear yard setbacks that are shown on the plot plan. Two, the dwelling is to contain not more than, Frank, correct me if I'm wrong, 4,843 square feet gross floor area?
My initial application had the wrong amount. It should be 4,643.
4,643?
Yes.
Okay. So again, the proposed dwelling shall contain not more than 4,643 square feet of gross floor area, and shall be designed and constructed in accordance with the proposed design plans. And three, compliance with the provisions of Chapter 88 of the Code of the Town of Foxborough, Massachusetts. I'm sorry, compliance with the provisions of Chapter 88 building demolition of the Code of the Town of Foxborough, Massachusetts. And again, that's the Historical Commission provision.
I just want to confirm in the letter, it says 4,843?
That's correct. That was my error.
Okay.
It should be 4,643.
Thank you.
Okay.
So, motion to...
I have one more point of concession.
Now, we closed the public hearing. Sorry.
Motion to approve the request for a special permit for 298 Cocasset Street with conditions as read.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
We are going to draft a written decision The written decision will be signed by Kurt, Lorraine, and me. It'll be filed with the town clerk. That starts a 20-day appeal period. So any party in interest who wants to appeal has the right to do so. Appeal must be taken within that 20-day period, and the appeal must be filed with either the Norfolk Superior Court or the Massachusetts Land Court, and you'll all receive notice of the decision. Okay? Thank you very much. Fun?
3 nights a week, 40 years.
All right, the time being 7:30 PM and then some. Then I told my wife that I wouldn't be home before. The continued public hearing, Jackson Homes LLC seeks a special permit pursuant to the code of the town of Foxborough, Massachusetts, Foxborough, Chapter 275, zoning, Section 5.4.2, and Section 5.6.3 to allow the reconstruction, extension, or alteration of a pre-existing non-conforming single-family residential structure with a habitable floor area of 1,638 square feet to a two-family residential structure that increases the habitable floor area by 25% or more to a habitable floor area of 4,796 square feet, and which causes the structure to exceed the gross floor area of the original non-conforming structure and to be located other than on the original footprint, as well as any such other zoning relief as the board may determine to be necessary and appropriate. Property is located at 16 Carpenter Street in the R15 Residential Agricultural District and the Design Review Overlay District. So we heard this matter initially on July 16, I believe it was, continued obviously till tonight. We did a site walk on July 21st. Initially, Eric, Blair Crane, and I were sitting on the matter. Again, Blair has resigned from the board as of August 10th. Although both Kurt and Lorraine have watched the video. Kurt didn't file the Mullen certificate with Bob Cutler. So therefore, Lorraine will be the voting member tonight. Kurt obviously will be able to participate. I think the biggest questions that we had last time had to do with water in the area on the property, whether there would be a intensification of water that would affect the nearby properties. There was also a concern that Ms. Slater had about the location of the driveway and how it faced her driveway. And I think that Bill Yukna had mentioned some questions relative to the vegetation on the property lines. So with that, Frank, I'll turn it over to you.
Okay. Just initially, we initially applied for sections 542 and 563. I think you brought it to my attention that we probably don't need 542. I agree with that after looking at and speaking with the commissioner and the chairman. One other thing we talked about, you asked us about the gross floor area, and we gave you some estimates last month. I just thought I'd provide those to you. The total gross floor area for both units is 6,500. So it's 3,250 per unit. Including the basement. And the floor by floor is, if you would like it, the first floor is 1,024. The second floor is 1,202. And the basement is 1,024. And if my math this time is correct, it'll be 3,250. $750 per unit.
The second floor is 1202?
The second floor is 1202, yes.
Okay.
And the first and basement is
Yep.
1024.
And that's for each, similar for each unit?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Other than that, the real question that came up last weekend at the site walk had to do with the flow of water from this property over to the neighboring property, into the front yard and all that. Mr. Lynch asked Mr. Buckley to look into it. And if you remember, originally, we told you at the site walk that the roof drains were going to go out to the catch basin. Mr. Buckley has since changed that because Mr. Euchner indicated that all that water goes to the catch basin and just backs up anyway. So I'd like to ask Mr. Buckley to go over his findings and how he's changed the initial proposal to make the water flow situation better, hopefully, for the neighbor. Mr. Buckley?
Mr. Chairman, good evening. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Bill Buckley from Baker Horney Group. And as Frank pointed out, we had done a complete building permit plan for this project. We've done soil testing, we've done a grading plan. You did not see that because it's not something that we show you up front. But we've done a lot of work on it already. I already knew about that issue with next door, so we had addressed that in our original design. And as Frank said, one of the things we did in our original design was we connected all the roof drains and we were going to put it into the catch basin in front. And what that does, it goes down West Leonard Street, and then amongst other things. And what we did is, what we do, as you talked about kind of obliquely at the last hearing, is what we try and do is we want to make sure that we're not impacting our neighbors with runoff any more than currently is the issue. So that's what we did here, and what I normally don't do this for building permits, as Scott could point out, but we do it anyways, but I've given you the background information here. So what I'm showing you here is what we're looking at. I know it's hard to see, because someday the town will have to spend some money and get a real board here. This area on our street goes to the south, toward Carpenter. So 12 Carpenter, is rear of that property is a bowl. It's a bowl, and I'm going to show you another drawing that we use there. And and this portion of our site goes to it, and that's normally what I care about. You know, I'm sorry that other people have issues, but what I'm concerned about is, are we going to exacerbate it? So that's what we looked at here, and you can see, I know it's hard to read that number, it's 6,398 square feet, and it's in my memo that I put together showing it. So this portion of our site flows to that portion of 12 Carpenter into that bowl. And then the next thing I did is I looked at how we're going to change the design or the layout of it. Again, I know it's hard to see. So this blue area is the area that's now going to flow toward the street. And we've knocked that down about 80%. So we went from roughly 6,398 square feet to roughly 1,074 square feet. And in my memo on the first page, I put together a table where we talk about the rate of runoff from our site to that site. So we're going from, and these are tiny numbers, 0.4 cubic feet per second to 0.06. Again, it's about an 80%, over 80% reduction in the rate of runoff running toward that property. Normally, we don't calculate volume. We don't calculate volume because it's not a requirement of the DEP stormwater standards, nor is it a requirement of the local bylaw, nor actually is it a requirement for us to do any of this for a single-family house, but we do it anyways. So I did calculate the volume because Frank told me that our neighbor next door had an issue with displacing the volume that right now comes onto a 16 Carpenter. So I did do that. So currently, the volume of our runoff leaving the site is 1,176 cubic feet, and we're knocking that down to 176 cubic feet. Again, roughly 80%. What we do is we do an analysis, and I do a very simple one, a simplified one, and we create, I took the topography that was given, that the state uses, it's called LiDAR, and they run the whole state, and it's a 1-foot contour interval. It's good enough, we use it. It's good to do it as long as you're consistent. So when you're calculating the existing and you use that, and you're consistent using the proposed. So, yeah, the numbers can change and depending the topo, because if you look at the town's topo, it's a little different, but the LiDAR topo is 2021. The town's topo is 1997, I think. And that shows like a pool in the backyard of 12 Carpenter. It looks a little lower, I don't know. But I'm using the 21 topo to be consistent. So we take that and we calculate the volume of the bowl. And in this particular case, let me show you another drawing so I could show you why I picked this number that I used, because my red team here, Frank, was picking me apart when I did it. So I used the 200 elevation 265 contour. Let me zoom out a little bit here. Let's see. Okay, better. So you can kind of see this better. So this is the house next door, again, taken from the Mass GIS. You can see the contour of the back of that house is 265. This is the 264, and then it's probably around 263.7 is the low point in that bowl. So we look at that 265 contour, and I'm going to follow it. Matter of fact, I'm going to use this. This is the 265 contour. You can see it kind of goes here, 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 here. So that's what I'm calling like the bowl for it. And I'm using that 265 contour because right here, we went back after Frank and Joe talked to me. We went back and we did a more detailed topo because with this flat area like this where, we're not looking for that level of, precision. We always want to be accurate. Precision is a function of what we're doing. So we went in there and said, okay, I walked it. And I said, look, what's going on here? So in the back here, there's a break in the wall. Somebody broke the wall there. And there's a grade right there. It's 265.3, I think. And then it goes off to 264.9, and then it goes to 264.4, 264.5. It goes off in this direction. The grade goes up over here toward 12 Carpenter. It goes off in this direction toward, if anybody with kids, if you've been behind the high school where the football field is, over on the right in the back corner, I think it used to be the girls' softball area, there's a ditch. And that drainage ditch goes from like that neighborhood over there, goes under South Street, goes through the old baseball fields, or the new baseball fields, the Army fields, we call them, and then it goes into that ditch and it goes out and eventually heads, I think it hits Robinson Brook at some point. But anyways, the important thing is this is kind of like the point where the water leaves the site. So that's 265.3, and like I told you, we use 265 as the bowl. So what we did is we went in and we said, so I've already showed you that the rate of runoff and the volume of runoff is less than it is from our property. But now what I want to show you is how I think we've improved the project. Here we go. And again, I know this is hard to read, but let me zoom in a little bit. That's good. Okay. So, remember I said 265 right now is kind of what we use as the magic number. So we're going to hold that 265 right here. And along here, I know it's hard to see, but this is a 265 contour here. So I've designed this so he's going to grade down the back here. This is all being filled. This is all being filled. This is all being filled. We've created a little swale on the left side here. Originally, I had that pitched to the front to go into the catch basin, but because of the comment that the drains seem to surcharge, okay, we're not going to go that way. We're going to go to the back. So we've now pitched it to the back to here, to this elevation 265. And then what we're doing is I've flattened this area out here so that if there is flooding onto the property, it has a way to go out. So currently, if it was flooding, let's say we had this big flood and it just flooded, it's only going to go up to 265.3 on both properties because at 265.3, it's heading out that cut. I'm dropping that cut to 265 and I'm flattening this area in here to 265. So if this does flood, the water, which currently might go up through this area here, will now go out here. So,
And again, that's conservation land back there, correct?
town-owned land,
Town-owned
yes.
land, so it'll be,
Yeah, there's
it'll
no-
flow towards that.
No neighbors, right, there's nothing back there except for when you get to the high school, it goes into that ditch. So yes, yeah, that was what we were doing, that was our design. And as Frank pointed out, we're connecting all of the roof runoff. I don't know where the gutters are, so we just show the risers here in these certain points. But it will go out right here, we'll connect here, and they'll go out, and they will dump out to the rear as well. So we're capturing all the roof runoff, which is the most, and it's gonna head out. And then the rest of the lot is either gonna go to the front, where it does now, or where some of it does now, because this is gonna go to the front still. We just can't capture that. And then, but over here in this bowl area, we've taken the volume. So, and the other thing I want to point out is the volume of runoff we're putting into, that we're currently putting in there, is going to be, the volume of runoff we're taking away from going in there is more than the volume of filling that we're doing. Does that make sense? So we're taking like 1,000 cubic feet, or not 1,000, roughly 700 or so, 800 cubic feet of runoff that we're taking it away that's currently go. We are filling the bowl, but we're only filling the bowl to less than that number, and it's about, I'm not sure, I forget what I wrote it down, but we did the balancing act. So we balanced it, we made the rate less, we made the volume less, and we've improved the situation by giving the water a runoff point about 3 or 4 inches lower than it currently is today. So that was, I'm sorry it took so long.
No. So Bill, ultimately, that is not only addressing the general concept of not making anything worse, but improving
Yeah, it's improving the
Yes.
flow, yeah.
the property next door.
Yes. Ideally, the perfect solution is making it better. And I think in this particular case, we're making it better.
Yeah, that's great.
So with the runoff from the roof going towards the rear of the property, there would be really nothing that would be directed into the driveways that would find their way into the street, other than typical, rainwater on the driveway
On the
itself.
pavement itself, yes. Anything in the front of the house is still going to the front.
Yeah.
So anything here that's not a roof is going to continue to go that way. But like over here, Well, actually, from like this point forward, as you can see on my finger, this is getting picked up in this swale and going that way. But this is going out to the street.
But again, it's not coming from the roof, it's just coming from the
Yeah, the front yard.
water on the,
On the pavement or the front yard.
one of the things that we, I guess, learned when we did the site walk was that the catch basin was just, I think, to the left of the driveway, Eric?
Yep.
Yes.
And the pipe leading out was too small to handle the runoff. And
Right.
that's a
it's
town
10-inch
issue.
It's a 10-inch pipe. There's an 8-inch and a 4-inch coming in from this way, and then there's a 10-inch going out that way. And then I've seen plans, I was looking at the plans that the town did back in the 70s, I think, when they rebuilt the sewer down here, and it shows a 12-inch. So I don't know if it goes from a 10 to a 12. I don't know if that's just a little section of 10. Unfortunately, what used to happen in I see in a lot of towns, that it becomes an emergency. It's an emergency. It collapsed. Okay, what do we got in the yard? Oh, we got a 10-inch piece of plastic pipe. Okay, let's put that in there. Now, I'm not saying that's what happened, but it seems weird that shows as a 10-inch plastic, and then further downstream, it's a 12-inch concrete.
Questions, Eric?
Well, it was good explanation, I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
well presented,
Yeah.
yeah, thanks.
That was the short version.
Just the way I would have
Cliff
designed it
notes.
too.
Scott, do you have any questions? Do you wish to be heard?
No, I'm all set. I think you should.
Actually, why don't you come up and tell us who you are?
That's Joe's son.
Yeah. Oh, that's right, I'm sorry.
Yes, I'm Joe Lynch, also. Joe Lynch, Joe's son, so.
And you're going to do all the work, right?
Yeah, so,
You're gonna be out there with a rake in the backyard.
yeah.
And a level.
So again, this is the same, actually, I want to close the public portion if there's anybody public here, but,
Motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
okay, all in favor? I expected more dialogue in this one.
Sorry, point of order. I think it's Lorraine and Eric. Kurt can't.
Oh, right.
Right, that's right, I'm sorry.
Second.
Let's do the vote again.
Motion to close the public hearing.
I second.
All in favor? Okay. Thank you, Diana. The same criteria as the last, the same issue as the last, substantially more detrimental. It's better. At least the issues that were raised last time, as Lorraine just said a few moments ago, it's a better plan than what we were talking about, a month ago. So, as far as meeting all the criteria, I think, to my mind, it's fairly clear. I don't want to go through any, long dissertation of it. And again, two-family homes are allowed by right in the R-15. So, even if Joe were to replace this with another single-family home, a larger single-family home, it would be the same issues, the same, means to resolve those, those issues.
If you have two homes on this, can you have two ADUs?
No,
No?
No,
Okay.
no. At least we don't think so.
just, no. By statute,
Only
we
one.
only have one,
Yeah.
Okay,
Unless the town allows it.
and the town does not allow it.
okay.
So I thought I had written out conditions, but apparently I didn't. But the conditions that I would impose would be that the house be, placed on the property as shown on the plot plan. Second, that the design be as shown in the, design plans, you gave us. And three, even though the design review bylaw that was passed at town meeting is still not effective. I spoke with Bob Cutler about it today. The AG's office still hasn't gotten back to us. If you could at least be in contact with them, and if they have any issues, if they want to change the shutters or something minor like that, then, use your discretion in that regard.
Yeah.
And obviously, it'd be for, I guess, graded with, with, as shown by Mr. Buckley, with the, runoff to be directed towards the rear of the property.
Yeah.
Motion to approve the special permit for 16 Carpenter Street with conditions stated.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
I thought we were going to get blasted on this one. Do we have any other business?
Where did, I thought the woman was here. The neighbor.
I got some.
Do we have any other business, or?
I don't.
Okay, a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?